Good afternoon. Breaking news out of Mesa, Arizona. Nicholas Johns finally got a match on one of his dating apps. But first, our lead story. A country music duo is offended by hotel decor. It's July 8th, 2024. This is Uncle Rico's Storytime. Holy shitballs. We're halfway through. What a day. Oh my god. I've got my cocaine smoothie going. It's been a rough day so far. I'm halfway through. It's noon. It's hot as balls again. But that's not the worst thing. Before I get too far ahead of my... Well, we'll circle back and touch base on that. So I wake up today. First thing I do, like always, grab my phone and hit up the social media apps so I can get in a pissed off mood. I still don't know why I do that. I gotta delete this shit until I start putting out content. It is just a horrible way to start off your day. I check, the Facebook and get all angry, and then I check the dating stuff and get even more angry. So today I I bring up the facial book, and there's a black duo group, country music artists, that were at a festival, and some asshole put a bunch of cotton in their dressing room. So they were offended, obviously. But then I click on the story and actually read it and then do some research. It wasn't, maliciously put in their room. It was a little teeny tiny cotton plant, a little decorative cotton plant that was in their dressing room. That is in all the dressing rooms. That has been in all the dressing rooms. But they took offense to it. For God's sakes. So I get into, a big argument online over that because I'm an idiot and I'm not going to change anybody's mind. So what the hell am I doing? But what does this group think is going to happen to their music career? That's the thing now is with this social media and this racial divide that we have going in the media. Minority groups look at martyrdom before, and that's also a very small problem of the police violence issue. Is these when these people get into contact with the cops, they become confrontational because they see all these videos and they're like, man, I could go down in a blaze of glory here on one of these videos and always be remembered, So I mean, obviously, the biggest problem is we have shitty cops, and there needs to be police reform, which is easy enough. It's transparency. If anybody has ever tried to lodge a complaint against the police, it's a work of art. They fucking run you around so much. But beside the point, this country music duo just shot themselves in the foot. I mean, This is nothing. It was room decor. My argument online was this would be the same as me getting angry that they served French fries and mashed potatoes because I'm Irish. And they're like, no, it's not that. What the fuck, And I'm like, dude, when the Irish came over, my descendants were pelted with potatoes and forced into servitude in these cities and taken advantage of. Granted, the Irish didn't go through anything near as gruesome and horrific as, you know, what our black brethren went through here in this country. But the scary thing about what I read online, and I know that, you know, online is only 10 or 15%, you know, and they're the trolls and they're the loudest, but holy smokes, you cannot pull up a black video without a lot of hate being thrown around on both sides, admittedly. But my point today with my argument was like, you can't honestly think that you're the first people to experience this. You know, I got into an argument with this one kid who was very, very bright, and he said slavery, or no, was it? Yeah, he said slavery was invented to keep the American black man down. And I'm like, what the? I go, dude, what? No, slavery's been around forever. Like, every race, every creed has been you know, oppressed or you know, given some kind. Every race and creed has been treated unfairly, and I was like, dude, America is just a very small blip in history. Like, you understand what kind of other atrocities have gone out throughout the world history. It's so I got into this big argument with you know, a bunch of people over that. I don't know. I like to pick fights with big groups online and just so. But I got into it with this one girl who was like, you know, there's never gonna be, this racial divide is never gonna go away. And I'm like, no, you're correct. And I think I said something about backlash, about, you know, black people having accountability for their, you know, it's unchecked at this point. So, en masse, I would say, if I symbolize the way that white people feel, like, I read these stories about how, you know, prominent people have to apologize for saying posse, or, you know, a noose, or seeing nooses, or seeing cotton plants and stuff like that. But then online, people can call me Mayo Skin and White Walker, and, you know, white people suck and this and that, and you report them, and then it's like, nope, doesn't go against community standards. So that, you know, angers you. And then if you have racism in your heart, like, there are still rednecks and white supremacists out there, that just fuels the fire. Even regular people, because of all this shit, okay, I'm getting way off track here. This, either way, this country music duo is, man, I don't know if they're going to be booking too many festivals after this. It was a little tiny cotton plant that they were offended by, and they posted all this stuff online about how they were going to quit, and their 12-year-old had to tell them to tough through, and it was so inspirational. And man, it just doesn't make sense to me. So, but I'm finishing up with that, and I get I get a notification. Hey, you got a match on Tinder. Normally, the only notifications I get are them trying to pimp themselves out for me to buy something or upgrade or something. And I never get matches on there. So I pull it up, and this chick right away is like, hey, you should text me. And she sends me her number. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a pretty sure sign that it's a scammer. But I don't care, because scammer relationships are the best relationships. They're nice to me. They greet me. They respond right away. I know they're a scammer, but I'm like, fuck it. How sad is that? My longest relationship in a long time has been a scammer. So, but I get her number, and I'm like, hey, what up, Nick? Da-da-da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. She's super forward. I'm like, bring it on. And she says, you know, my time is valuable. And I'm like, you know, da 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 da. I'm like, nah, I'm not into that, you know, but God bless. But before that, she had me say, I sent her, she said, send me a picture. Let's, you know, yeah, let's trade pics. Da da. We sent pictures. So, but after I said that, no, I'm not interested thing, then she was like, then she just let me loose. You know, blah, 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 bullshit. Oh, yeah, fucking bullshit with you, da, 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 da. She said something about, what was it that initially, then I was like, well, you're fat and ugly. And she's like, oh, she said I have a small dinghy? Something maybe? Oh, no. She went right away to the picture. She goes, yeah, like I got time to bullshit with you. And I was like, well, you were the first one. You fake catfished me with dating when you're a working girl. And she goes, yeah, just to give you a heads up, you should never send that picture to anyone out, you know, da da da. Have you, when was the last time you showered? And I was like, I told you, I just woke up. Like, da 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 da, but beside the fact, you're fat and ugly. And she's like, oh, well, you wanted to sleep with me. And I was like, yeah, because I'm desperate. I've been on a slump forever. It's embarrassing, but my standards have gone right in the toilet. I'm willing to sleep with anybody at this point, or have a relationship with anybody. Plus, I thought you were a scammer. And then it just got heated. And got to the point where I started calling her really bad names, you know, hooker, whore, this kind of thing. She said something about, you know, making a bad mistake or something like that. And I was like, well, you were the one that initially started it insulting me and broached the subject with me. Like, I was legitimately trying to date somebody. Like, how did you warp this around to make me the bad guy? I'm like, now I realize why you have the job you do. You probably can't hold a normal job because you have a severe anger issue. And then she says, and then that's where it got really bad. So she goes, you messed with the wrong bitch, da 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 da. And then I said, you're a hooker. I am normal. I have a job. I have vehicles. I have houses. I contribute to society. There's nothing you can do to hurt me. And then she proved me wrong. Hi, Zeusy. Hi, buddy. Oh my gosh, you smushy face. Oh, I need to smush your face. Oh God, you're just a big chubby bubs. So I said, you know, there's nothing you can do to hurt me. And she said, bet, motherfucker. So she comes out of the gate with, I was going to register you on the Twitter sex offender, but you're already a rapist. And I was like, whatever. I don't even know how to check that. Like, shut up. And then she says, welcome to the internet, motherfucker. Prepare for phone calls for the rest of your life. And I start getting private phone calls nonstop, like every minute or so. So I assume she must have registered me on some like internet app type thing to bomb you, like call bomb you. And I blocked it. I went under my settings and blocked the, unknown numbers. But with my VA disability and stuff, sometimes I get calls through through the VA that come up private, and so that's kind of untenable. But it got me thinking. I was like, well, if she wasn't bullshitting about this phone call thing, then maybe she wasn't kidding about this sex offender thing. And so I put my number in, and it comes back with the old person that had my number, and their name is Corey Wills. And I originally switched my number about a year ago because I was just getting bombarded with scammers and everything, or something happened where I was like, oh, it was that psycho chick. No, because I just blocked her. I can't remember, but something happened with my phone number. I was like, oh, I gotta change it. So I changed it, and then immediately got really bad texts and stuff like that, so I changed it again. I changed it to this number, and I couldn't get on this current number. I couldn't, when I originally did it, I couldn't get on to some of my dating apps. And I thought it might have been, just following me over somehow, I don't know. But because I have been kicked off of dating apps, when chicks are mean to me, I lash out. Obviously, I just told you the story about that. But like, I get yelled at for saying, "What's up, hon? What's up, babe?" One lady said, "Oh, cutie, beautiful." They'll yell at me and say, if you compliment right out of the gate, it just seems like you're not genuine. And I'm like, what the hell? I thought you were beautiful, but thanks for letting me see a red flag right away. One girl was like, I was like, hey, what's up, babe? I was just having a really great day, so I was in a good mood. I said, hey, what's up, babe? She goes, babe, what am I, a 5th grade girl? And I was like, what the fuck? Gross. I wouldn't be obviously matching with you. What is wrong with you? And she goes, well, I'm a teacher and I deserve respect. And I'm like, so what? I was a teacher. Every job deserves respect. A janitor deserves respect. Either way, how is calling somebody babe disrespectful? And then that obviously turned into an argument. But then what happens is I tend to hit back a lot harder than initially insulted. And so they lodge the complaint, and then I get kicked off. I haven't been kicked off, but I was kicked off too. So when I got this new number, I thought, oh, okay, it just followed me over somehow, maybe the email or something like that, da-da-da-da-da. And when I tried to log on to Snapchat, it showed me as this Corey Wills, and I had to, I forget what I had to do to get the new thing. But this picture of Corey Wills was it's a black chick. So when I did the search of my number and pulled up the Corey Wills, this is a white dude, and he looks like a dirtball. The headline is he was found guilty of $3.3 million corruption thing or something. Just bad stuff. You pull up the picture and you're like, oh my god, he's got the spiky hair and the crazy coked out look and the super tan. It's like fucking Hunter Biden. So, but then I realized, and then the other thing that I thought of was the Snapchat thing that was on there. Corey Wills was a black chick, then that was probably his idea of a joke. So not only is he a cocaine crook rapist, but he's also a racist son of a bitch. So I'm like, all right, I gotta frickin' change my number. So I go into Verizon. I'm like, man, I gotta change my number. He's like, yeah, no problem. Pulls up the tablet. He's like, oh, freezes up. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably me. And I tell him my how horrible I am with technology. And he's like, oh, no problem. And he borrows another guy's tablet, and he's like, he pulls it up and it freezes again. And he goes, I'm just gonna restart the app on the tablet, on the second tablet. And I go, okay, cool. I'm gonna, stand over here as a joke. And he starts it up, and he goes, Jesus, man, it just froze up again. And I was like, yeah, it's probably me, no big deal. And he goes, I tried to change somebody's number on a different account, and it did it right away. It's your account. Whenever I bring up your account, it freezes up. I was like, yeah, perfect. He's like, you can do this over the phone. Just call 611. This was actually pretty cool. So I call 611, and the Verizon AI thing, he goes, thank you. It was like, you've called Verizon customer care. Thank you so much for your service. We appreciate it. It's like, holy shit. Verify, and then it goes, and then it said, what can we help you with today? Do you want to change your number? And obviously it linked up with my customer service and everything like that. But I was like, that's awesome. When was the last time an automated thing? I was like, very cool. So, but it wouldn't let me change the number because you can only do that in 24 hours. And when my account froze up the first time, it counted as a number change. So I have to wait 24 hours, which is no big deal. But the hooker got the last laugh for sure. Get out, go to run over to my other property today, and the city has tried to. So I live out in this area out in the country, not really the country, but it's more the suburbs of Phoenix, and there are 3-way highways. There's a three lane going in each direction, so 6-lane total with a separator. But the separator has a stop sign, and old people get fucking confused by stop signs and moving things and the little circle go around things. But they get confused by stop signs, especially when it's in the middle of 2 lanes. They're like, "Arr!" They just sit there. And AJ is a retirement community. It's, one big trailer home out here. So, there's a lot of accidents. But it's because of the stop sign. There's also a dirt path in the middle of the 2 lanes, and it's redneck and retirees out here, so everybody's got truck or 4-wheel drive. You just zip across the lane instead of way overshooting and having to whip a U-turn and coming back. And I don't ever see any accidents from, people cutting through the dirt or whatever. But the city is doing construction, huge construction, slated pretty much for a year. And all they're doing is putting in a curb so people can't shoot across the way anymore. Not fixing the problem, wasting money. And what they do the day before the 4th was on a Thursday. So on the 3rd, they went and put barriers up so nobody could turn left. Even at the stop signs, you couldn't turn left. So for me to just shoot across the street to my other business, I have to basically drive a back way and go through and cut up a half mile to the next major intersection, drive over, drive down, and then come back. I can't even go the mid route to the stop sign, the stoplight right by my property, and hang a left legally. So, but like any good, thoughtful citizen, I have my eyes open as to what is going on with my government, and I question things. So I realized that by them putting this up on the 3rd, that they would get maximum inconvenience out of their citizens for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th until Monday rolled around. So my plan was to go out there that night of the 4th and pull some of those barriers down so I can make smooth turns before I could do it, it was already done. Hoorah, way to go, AJ Mesa. People were driving over the construction beacons, and I don't condone damaging city property, but, learn your lesson. They didn't do anything new to it. They just put those up before a huge holiday. And the citizens were like, no, we're not going to be majorly inconvenienced by something that is stupid, that is pointless and a huge waste of money anyways. So I love it. Today they put the barricades and everything up. They had to pay all the people to go through this huge stretch of road to put the barricades up, because everybody did it at each barrier place. And they still haven't done anything in the middle of those areas, so it was pointless for them to put the barriers up. But it takes me forever now to run over to my other property. And my other property, because my bosses are a bunch of brainiacs, I have to drive over to my other property at 7 in the morning and prop this door open so people can get to this customer service kiosk, and then I have to unlock it at 7 o'clock at night, which is hilarious because my job shouldn't exist. They're going to this high-tech online Wi-Fi Bluetooth system, but yet they can't even fix this door to open it. So when I took over 3 years ago, we were at 99% occupancy. I pushed it to, it was 98, 96. I pushed it to 99 and 98, and then we were there for a little while, and then they continued to make high-tech decisions. We had a bigwig who wouldn't ever listen. The communication was one way entirely. He didn't want to listen to any feedback. But his thing was he would go around to conventions and just bring in stupid ideas. He would come back and he'd go, okay, we're going to put stickers on all of these locks. And I'm like, I don't say it, because he filters it through. My supervisor says, we need to put stickers on all these locks. And I go, well, I have a super bad back, and I have a long list of to-do stuff that I still can't catch up with, so I'm not going to do that. And she's like, well, he's going to pull your bonus. Not in so many ways, but not so many words, but that's basically what it comes down to it if you don't do what he says. So I said, what the hell is the point of these stickers? And she says, well, it lets us know if anybody breaks into the unit. And I said, so they break into the unit and then put their lock on it, and then they can access it sometimes. This is strange. Normally they just cut the lock, go through it, and then they're out. Very rarely does a thief continue to go to the unit, but it does happen. It has happened. My Mission Impossible thief actually did that. But no, he never went back. He always just rifled through it and then took off. So, but either way, I'm like, okay, how do I differentiate if it's a new tenant putting a lock on there or a thief? And she's like, well, I don't know. And I go, so if a thief cuts a lock off, puts his lock on, the next week I'm going to go through and put a sticker on his lock. So what the hell's the point? And she's like, well, it's, security. And I'm like, no, it's not at all, unless I'm completely missing something. It's a whole lot of nothing and a waste of time. But before I took over, they had just brought in the system called Da Vinci locks. And this is a serial number lock system, app system that is always malfunctioning, that is only synced up with this horrible point system, Hummingbird, which is a train wreck. So they decided to bring in this Hummingbird, or Da Vinci, which is dependent on a horrible system, with the promise that they're going to fix the system. So they bring in all these Da Vinci locks. It's you can do it over the phone and give the customer the code and everything like that. The problem with this is the locks are all super expensive. So What do you do with somebody when they are when they are negligent and they haven't paid? You lock it up with the expensive lock. When you overlock somebody's unit, it's usually because they don't have their shit together. And a lot of times it's because they're a shitbag. So what do they do with these locks? They keep them. They know the code. You can use it. It's not like it's microchipped. Thanks for the free lock. Or they're angry at us and they throw them away. Sometimes I'll pull up a unit and there's 4 or 5, after it's overlocked, and there's like 4 or 5 previous locks on there. It's just bad system. So, but they rolled the dice on it. Okay. So immediately after that, they have this dream about a customer kiosk. They're telling us that they're going to go to this new lock system called No Key, which is all Bluetooth and wireless and everything. And so I'm like, okay, way to waste money on this DaVinci lock system. But so they start constructing a customer kiosk room. And I go up there when my bigwig is up there working on it. And I see him building a wall. And I go, hey man, just to give you a heads up, I did some HVAC, AC work for a little while, and this return and the output, the return and intake need to be on the same room. The way that it is right now, you are blowing. They've got a customer kiosk room in the front with big bay windows that are subjected to a lot of heat. And they build the customer kiosk room in there. The sun is actually touching the customer's kiosk computer, which is not smart. So he's building this wall in the middle of it, and I go, hey boss, just to let you know, like da 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 da. I go, the return, the cold air is going to blow into that back space that's dark, where my office is, where I'm never in, and the temperature is going to, the thermostat is reading the front, so it's going to constantly just blow cold air in that back area. And he brushes me off and continues with the wall. So we have overheating issues. So he has his handyman put a vent in the door to the office, which is in the back. So I'm like, dude, now the already cold area is going to be sapping cold from our AC hallway outside. It's not going to fix the problem. It's not going to blow in to the hot area. So then oh my God, what does he do the next time? He does one other thing, and then finally, he puts a vent in the wall. When I first brought it up to my supervisor, she got back to me and was like, when I originally noticed the problem and brought it up to my boss, he brushed me aside. I was like, when we were having the overheating issues, I told my supervisor, I was like, look, this is going to continue to happen. You need to put a vent in the wall is the divider. You need to open that up. And she comes back with me and she's like, no, so-and-so is adamant that nothing is going to, he doesn't want anything else on that wall besides the advertising TV. And he did 2 other things before he finally listened to me and did it. But now before they even got that customer kiosk room working, they have built another customer kiosk room, which is even more high-tech. And before that, they went through and changed all of my monument signs. I have 3 properties out here in this area, and all 3 of them have huge, big old monument signs that are up in the air. So they had to hire a crew to come over and change all these signs. But when they changed them out, I was like, nothing has changed. Everything is the same. All the information, all the font, everything is exactly the same. And my boss was like, oh no, there's a font difference, da 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 da. I'm like, no, there's not. It's the exact same sign. How much did it cost to change each one of these signs? And she's like, oh yeah, da 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 da. I'm like, they did all of the signs. Changed all of them. So much money wasted. So, but with all of these ideas and all of the great things that they've been rolling out, our occupancy now is at 72 and 67%. And my job was supposed to be phased out 3 years ago, and I am still here, way safe. So I'm just going to ride this out until they finally fix their shit, which will be never. What a mess. So, last podcast, I went off tangent and forgot what I was talking about. And I do want to wrap that up. S.E. Hinton, the author that wrote The Outsiders. And I got off tangent because I was telling stories about what a little shit I was as a kid. My parents' friends had a bet that I would end up in jail or dead by the age of 25, which was fucked up, but I was a little bastard. So, but I loved reading when I was a kid, and I loved the S.E. Hinton novels. She wrote The Outsiders, and I was always amazed. S.E. Hinton is female, obviously, and I was always amazed when I found out that, it was a female who wrote these books, because the books are, young adult. They're always about street kids. The point of The Outsiders was the Greases against the Socs. And I always felt like an outsider. We moved around a lot. We weren't rich. There were times where we had money problems. Me and my brothers and sisters always got into some shit, so we were kind of the, I don't know if trashy is the word, but we were definitely, a family that you probably had to keep an eye on. Baby cakes. Watch out, Poopy. Watch out, Baba Jobs. But S.E. Hinton, amazing, talented. I was always floored that a woman could write like that from a young male hoodlum perspective. I have problems reading books when it's a female lead. I don't have problems watching movies. Like, I can watch the Hunger Games thing and get into it, but when I read books, I can't imagine myself as the lead character, and when I read books, I always imagine myself as the lead character. And even when I write, I struggle to write like, well, that's not true. I did write that chick sitcom, which I thought was pretty good. Either way, it was pretty impressive. I'm pretty impressed with S.E. Hinton. She's got a whole bunch of other movies that weren't as popular as The Outsiders, so I'm excited to see that. I know I watched Tex and Rumblefish when I was younger, but I don't remember them at all. So I ordered all of her books, and I'm going to read her books if I have time, and then I'm going to go through and watch all of her movies. So I'm excited about that little S.E. Hinton quest that I have going on. And besides that, I love you. Oh, I love you. Oh, you're a big butterball. I love you too, cheekies. Cheeky cheeks. Besides that, I'm halfway through. I'm going to get back out there and try it again. I'm going to keep my head down. I'm going to try to stay off social media. Man, that chick went after me. So this reminds me of, I know I've told this before, but is that why? No. So the one girl that I had matched with a while ago, one of the reasons why I got kicked off one of the apps was she hit me up, and I had already exchanged my number, and she hit me up well after, like, we unmatched. She hit me up well after. Was it a falling out? Yeah, we got into an argument. I don't. Either way, we unmatched. She had my number, and then so many months went by. I was having a really good day, and I got this text that said, "Hey, Tony," or something like that, or "Hey, what's up, Jason?" I was like, "Nope, wrong number." And she's like, "Oh, I was trying to get a hold of this one dude, you know, da 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 da. What's going on with you? How are you?" And I'm like, "I'm having a rare good day. How are you?" She's like, "Oh, good, blah, blah, blah." And then it turned into she did know who I was. She hit me up on purpose. And she had a whole list of insults that she had saved up. Because after she hit me up right away, once I remembered who it was, I was like, I told her originally that I wasn't interested and unmatched. I was very cordial with it. Did she lash out at me? I can't remember. But I remember I was very cordial when I ended things. Fast forward to when she started texting me, she had all these insults saved up. And I had kept, like, I was in such a good mood. I was super stoned. So I kept saying, like, I'm like, "Hun, you seem really angry, and I know that you want to lash out at me, but, like, everything's fine. Like, I didn't hit you up. You hit me up out of the blue. And, like, I was polite when I, said no thanks." And she just kept going after me. And I could tell that she had, like, saved up stuff because she remembered stuff about when we had talked last, and it was so long ago. It was at least 6 months, maybe a year. It was a long time. But she had stuff saved up like, okay, John Stamos with a receding hairline and failed actor, and ooh, I want to be a hermit, because I must have told her about my, dream to go off grid and get land somewhere and retire and stuff and travel around the country in my RV. And she's like, "Oh, I want to be a hermit and da 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 da, homeless vet and blah 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 blah." So I was like, "Look, you've obviously got some unresolved stuff with this. Like, just let it go, for God's sakes." Maple Bar has reemerged. I'm hoping I could get an answer from Maple Bar. Maybe she might watch this. Maple Bar was the super gorgeous, like the last good match that I had. It was so long ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It was before Rona, I think. But I matched with this girl who's just gorgeous, and we clicked on. Maybe she did a review on my number. No, that was well after. This is all recent. The number changes are all recent. So weird. But yeah, so Maple Bar, this gorgeous brunette who's close. We hit it off, had a lot of the same views and everything. She invited me over to meet her kids, which I thought was too soon. But I did mention to her that I was a teacher, so she probably felt safe. Plus, it was like pizza in a pool area. But either way, that's how comfortable she was around me. I try to keep the girls interested. I don't want them to lose interest, so I will fire at them interview questions to keep them engaged. So one of the questions that night after I said, after I couldn't make it for pizza, I said, "What is your favorite musician?" And she said, "Kendrick Lamar." Was it Kendrick Lamar? Kendrick Lamar. And I was like, "Oh yeah, da 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 da, not my thing. I like rap, but not my thing." One of my guys tried to get me to listen to one of his CDs. It was real popular, and it just seemed kind of like, not mumble rap, but there was no rhyming. It was just kind of him talking in rhythm, and that's not really my thing. Da 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 da. No response. And I was like, "Hey, I want to get something tomorrow." No response. "Hey, good evening," or like, "Have a great night. I'm sure you're busy," because she was a single mom. I'm like, "Hey, I'm sure you're busy." Da 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 da. Still no response. And I'm like, you know what? If I don't get any response, if I message you 2 or 3 times and don't get a response, I'm like, I'm good. I'm not gonna keep, So But she was so hot, and we clicked so much that I was like, oh, what's going on here? So I pull up the dating app, gone on it. And we had matched on something. We were on something else too. That was gone. I was blocked on there. Just totally, boom, done. I swear to God, I think it was because I don't like Kendrick Lamar. So, but she has reemerged. Facebook was like, dude, you haven't gotten your nuts kicked in enough. Why don't we bring back a previous wound? Why don't you reopen that one? But this gave me an idea for a dating app. And immediately people are going to be turned off by it because they don't like negative things. But I think ultimately people would appreciate it when you unmatch with people. Because my thing is people will match with me and then they'll unmatch so quick before I can even pull up their profile. It'll be, hey, you got a match. And I'm like, ooh, notification. Boop, bring it up. And I'm like, it's gone. So something in my profile. But I have talked to a couple girls who said that my profile looks fake because I do have different looks because of the acting thing. I even have that in my profile. Hey, what is my profile thing? Hey, small time actor or Navy vet, former teacher, small time actor, looking to retire on some land soon, need music to survive, pros, brown eyes, honesty, cons, swine rings. I did change the swine rings to piercings, I think, and threw something else in there. But I'm sure that's a reason why I'm not getting matches, is because 80% of the women out there have a facial piercing. They have some kind of metal stapled into their face. But that doesn't explain... that does explain the quick match. But either way, so I don't know. What the hell? I went off tangent there. Maple Bar, if you get this message, let me know what it was that turned you off so much. Oh, that's my dating app idea. Is when you unmatch with somebody, you tell them why. I think a lot of us, if you ever get unmatched with, you always question, what the hell did I do? You know, it would help people. If people are unmatching with me, you know, oh, I've got a, what is it? It's called a septum ring, and I don't appreciate a man telling me how I should look, you know, or fake account, 6 different pictures, you know, or I could go, swine ring, peace out, and then that girl could go, man, maybe guys don't like this stuff. Maybe I'm just doing it for attention and competition against other women. Man, maybe I do this with a lot of stuff. Maybe I'm in competition with other women about how long my eyelashes are and how long my fingernails are and how dark my tan is. Maybe I should be okay in my own skin and appreciate my own beauty and not put a mask of makeup on my face. You know, I think it would be good. It would have definitely helped me get better and, you know, make us all better people and get some finality to it instead of just unmatching willy-nilly. But ultimately the problem is women are looking for perfection and dudes are just looking for a quick lay. So, but, you know, women can throw that out there also. Why did you unmatch with Derek? He said hi and then showed me his cock. You know, why did you unmatch with Brett? Because right away he gave me a cock pic. Why did you unmatch with Rico? Because he gave me a little dick pic. So if anybody wants to steal my idea, go for it. Just give me free membership to your dating app. That's all I want. Hey buddy, oh, what is that? What is this? Oh, what is this? Oh, what is this? Is it time to go? Oh, get some of that, cheekies. Get some of that. Yeah, get some of that. You're so strong. Oh my goodness. All right, boys. Chico, Zeusy, say goodbye. Peace out.